For the third way to fly the VOR approach, I am going to load the GPS overlay into the GPS and use the GPS defined waypoints Chail and Nadal as the intermediate and the final approach fix, and I'm going to use the GPS missed approach point as the missed approach point, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the approach into Ashboro into the 530. VOR alpha approach from Greensboro, which is just about where we are. I'm going to activate it, and since we've already passed Greensboro, I'm going to activate the leg from Greensboro to Chail. Yep, and let's ignore for a second that I'm nav data out of date right now. I haven't updated to 2005 just yet. So, as you can see, Chail is a GPS waypoint, Nadal is a GPS waypoint, and as you can see here in the flight plan, the missed approach point on the 173 radial is also a GPS waypoint, so we can use that to define our points. Note though that I'm still using the VOR for the final approach course guidance. The GPS is in VLOC mode, so the CDI here, see it also here on the nav light, the CDI is displaying the deflection of the VOR raw data. So we are going to pass Chail, and this time Chail is simply defined by the GPS sequencing it. Of course, again, the crossing radial also works as kind of a backup. And of course, the DME readout is now our third backup for the same information. So 8 DME readout crossing this radial, and the GPS sequencing the Chail waypoint. Note we are in VLOC, and the autopilot is simply tracking the VOR radial. The GPS sensitivity has just been upgraded to LNAV because we are MORS capable. So even though the autopilot is flying the airplane right now off the VOR radial, the GPS is just along for the ride and will allow us to identify the final approach fix, which you can see on the GPS here is a magenta FA to let you know that this waypoint is the final approach fix. And when the missed approach waypoint shows up here, it'll say MA in magenta to let you know that it's the missed approach point. Again, I'm going to set my crossing radial to 257 just because I can. Primary indication, of course, GPS sequencing the waypoint, the DME distance, and the crossing radial, just additional backups. that even though I do not have any vertical guidance, I'm still using the autopilot in approach sensitivity mode. Of course, there's no glide slope or glide path to engage. Pressing approach, in this case, simply selects approach sensitivity, doesn't do anything to the vertical axis. So as we can see here, I'm going to pass Nadel, then go down to our missed approach point, MA173. Just going to hold minimum descent altitude until we sequence the point. And the GPS is going to not sequence the point, but flip the to from indicator to from, and put up a little green susp message here, which means waypoint sequencing has been suspended at the missed approach point. So our indication that we have passed the missed approach point is the flip of the to from indicator and the indication of suspend. And to then sequence into the missed approach, we're going to press the OBS button, which unsuspends the GPS, so the susp label, the green susp message here, will go away, and the GPS will then activate the next waypoint on the missed approach. If you have a modern fancy airplane with a GFC 700 autopilot and the go around button, pressing the go around button on the autopilot also sequences into the missed approach on the G1000 or the 750 or whatever modern GPS equipment you have. So as you can see here, there's a very slight discrepancy between the VOR radial that we are flying, the 173, and we have a little bit of an off-center CDI indication here on the GPS. We're not worried about that, that's to be expected. Alright, gas. Oh, looks good. Undercarriage down and welded, mixture, full ridge prop, full forward, flaps 10, switches, yep, landing lights are on. So we have a minute to go to Nadel, at which point we're going to click off the autopilot, start the descent 700 feet per minute or thereabouts to 1320, and this time our missed approach indication will be the flip of the to from indication on the GPS and the illumination of the suspend label. 10 seconds to go. Also see crossing radial about to center on the CDI 2. Alright, final approach fixed sequenced. As you can see on the GPS now, the missed approach point, magenta MA, is the active waypoint now. So that's our indication that what's coming up is the missed approach point. And the GPS will not sequence it unless we tell it to. How I'm completely disregarding the GPS CDI right now. I'm just holding my heading, watching the the CDI-1 needle, which is not very sensitive because we are 23 miles out from the Greensboro VOR at the missed approach point. So I can actually have a fairly big deviation here, and the CDI is not going to move much. So according to the GPS, I have 1.5 minutes to go. And I'm 500 above minimums now. Above. Okay, according to the GPS, 30 seconds to go. Alright, here's 1320. Hold the minimum descent altitude. About 10 seconds or so to go. Okay, the SUSP needle has SUSP indication has appeared. The to from indicator is about to flip over. There you go. There's the flip. Flaps up, full power, climbing right turn to 3,000 feet. We're going missed. Past the missed approach point, didn't see the runway, going missed. And since we're going missed, I'm now going to unsuspend the GPS. And we're going back to needle. Alright, and that was the third way to fly the VOR approach.